Let's also tell you that the Nigerian Securities and Exchange Commission has introduced stricter rules for digital asset promotions to curb unregulated cryptocurrency advertising. Under revised guidelines, virtual asset service providers must secure SEC approval before hiring third-party marketers or influencers. The new rules, effective June 30, 2025, also require influencers or Finfluencers to obtain a no-objection authorization from the SEC before promoting crypto products. Influencers must verify the licensing of promoted companies and disclose paid endorsements. Non-compliance could result in fines of at least 10 million naira or up to 3 years in prison. The SEC emphasized its commitment to monitoring crypto ads and penalizing violations to protect investors from unauthorized promotions. Now, to shed more light on this, we are joined by Silas Umekwe, author, Crypto Investors Playbook, and an online business consultant. Thank you so much for joining us on the news. Of course, it's nice to have you around, Silas.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So how will these new regulations impact the adoption and growth of the cryptocurrency market in Nigeria?
Okay, so basically, the regulation is going to provide some form of sanity in the sense that before now we have seen top influencers and some of our big music influencers. We have seen them promote crypto tokens that a lot of people have gotten invested in, and they've lost a whole lot of money. I mean, there was one particular project that was promoted by one of the biggest names. The name of the project was Ichuk. And the truth of the matter is a lot of people, it was trending immediately after it just pumped, and a lot of people lost money, right? It actually choked a lot of people. So I think this regulation is very, very good. I think it's one that is going to help the populace. It's going to help investors, retail investors particularly. It's going to help us know, okay, if we are going to, if a public figure comes out to, to endorse a project, you're not just going to be taking advantage of your gullible followers, to just come and buy into that project. So I think it's a very good one. It's a very positive step in the right direction.
Well, some players in the industry say that it might stifle innovation, looking at what they called regulatory encumbrances. What do you think?
For stifling I'm not, of course, because of the whole requirements that is needed. We expect that it's going to bring about additional operational costs, and extra administrative responsibilities for VASPs, right? That's virtual asset service providers. It's going to bring in a lot of that. But the truth of the matter is we need some sanity in the space. We need some sanity in the space. If you're ready for the business, yes, come in and say, okay, yes, you're ready for it. And if you're not ready, just sit down and do some other thing. Because this industry is one that a lot of people are coming in. It's uncharted waters, basically. A lot of people are scared. A lot of people are skeptical. While a lot of people are just jumping in blindly, following who they think is their messiah, who they think is their influencer. We have a cult-like followership in Nigeria. Once you follow somebody, you just don't even want to point out something wrong that is doing. So for virtual asset service providers, I think we just have to tighten our belts. We just have to brace up. We just have to sit up and align with the practices that the SEC is providing. As a matter of fact, in 2017, in one of the stakeholders meetings, I think the first stakeholders meeting CBN had with crypto investors and crypto stakeholders, one of the things I suggested to the then CBN governor was that SEC should actually be in position of providing regulations for all of these things. So when I see SEC 7 years after coming up with these guidelines, I'm very, very happy, because this is one of the things we have suggested from time immemorial. So this is a step in the right direction. And of course, those that fail to comply are supposed to face the penalties. Every VASP should align with the practices of the regulations.
So now, how effectively can SEC enforce these new regulations, particularly given the decentralized nature of cryptocurrencies?
Okay, you see, there are decentralized exchanges and there are centralized exchanges. Now, for decentralized exchanges, we know that there is a little uphill, there's a learning curve for decentralized exchanges. Not just everybody can just come and start trading on a decentralized exchange. So you find out that the majority of traders are trading on centralized exchanges. As a matter of fact, if you go online, most people, just anybody that doesn't know anything about crypto already has maybe a Binance account, a Luno account, and the rest of them. So what the SEC is supposed to do basically just go after centralized exchanges. Go after them, and that's all. Once you go after centralized exchanges, now, the truth is there has to be regulations. There has to be regulation because a lot of things are going wrong that just simple regulations can solve. But yes, there are decentralized exchanges and there are decentralized platforms where a lot of these transactions can happen. But it's just like saying that there should be no bank regulations because people can deal with cash. Right? Yes, there's going to be some form of cash transactions and all of that, but we still need bank regulations. So the same way there's going to be some form of decentralized activities, but we still need regulations to control centralized exchanges and centralized activities. Okay. So I think it can be enforced. It can be enforced. They just need to come up with a blueprint and a roadmap. Right? Instead of creating policies or instead of driving centralized, in the past 1 year, we've driven out almost 4 or 5 centralized exchanges that are ready to do businesses with Nigeria. But instead of driving them away, you would have just called them, give them the requirement, and let them follow it. And that's all. Those centralized exchanges, foreign exchanges, they can afford some of all these things that we are talking about, especially the requirement that SEC is asking for. Some of these centralized exchanges can do it, just provided we can have law enforcers that will not just be going after money. Like the other day that a centralized exchange, part of the centralized exchange team was arrested, and after a few days, we just heard that somehow, the guy was released. There was we didn't know anything about what happened. So of course, we can just like to put 1 or 2 together.
Of course, we understand that a system cannot be wholesome in some climes, but then hopefully in baby steps we can get there. Thank you so much, Silas Umekwe, for sharing your thoughts with us.